Hey, this is Jimmy Jive, and you're listening to Motor City Rock Talk. Today, my guest is an old friend of mine from way back in the day. He's a lead vocalist, he's played guitar, he writes a lot of killer tunes, and he goes by the name of Mickey Strange. Hey, Mickey, how you doing tonight?
Good. How are you, Jimmy?
I'm doing good, man. So how you been?
Pretty good. Pretty good. Not bad at all.
Staying out of trouble?
No.
Well, that's good to hear.
Yeah.
All right. Anyway, give us a little background on where you were from originally, where you grew up, and how you got into the music business.
I grew up in Redford. Music was always part of my life. My father used to listen to the Doors a lot.
Wow.
And Jim Morrison was a huge influence on me as a very young child. The whole idea was I was always singing. I wanted to always be the singer. And then I just picked up guitar, and no one knew how to play guitar that well, and neither did I, really. And that's how I just went for it. I was like 13 when I started.
Yeah, it was funny because you mentioned the Doors. I remember you from back in high school, Mickey and I went to high school together, that you being into the Doors and Stones and Cream and all that. As a matter of fact, I tell this story to a lot of people that you were the one that taught me how to play bass. You actually instructed me on my very first song that I learned, which was you showed me on the guitar, but I was playing on bass. Sunshine of Your Love.
That's right. Yeah, I do remember that.
You remember that?
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I know that goes way, way back.
Yeah.
Well, the reason I bring that up was back then, I remember you playing in bands and all that, and I'm not sure if the band that you were in was called Nobody's Children. I know you went on and played in a group called that, but you were playing with some other cats from Thurston in there, and I remember you playing Stone songs and the Doors and all that. Was that the name of that group, or was there a different name?
No, it started out as Aftermath.
Aftermath. That was it. I thought I remembered you, like Rick White playing with you at one time. Was that in that band?
Yeah, him and I were on and off. His name is Dan Berry, was the drummer.
Mm-hmm.
See, Roger Acosta was the singer.
And you were playing guitar, though, at those days.
Yeah, I was playing guitar, and Mike Wassky was playing guitar, and I don't think we had a bass player.
No, I remember that was a rarity in those days. We didn't have one in my band either. That was why I decided to play bass, because I thought maybe they could get me into some bands. It didn't work out too well till later. But anyway, moving up a little bit in time, you did start a group or get involved in a group called Nobody's Children.
Yes.
Tell me a little bit about that. I heard that it was a real punk rage, and you guys were...
Yeah, it was right after we graduated. I was 18. I was playing guitar, and it was the aftermath of Aftermath.
Mm-hmm.
We just went for it. We were influenced by the Dolls, New York Dolls, tremendously. I met quite a few of the guys, the Stooges and the Damned.
Right.
We were just like a mesh of all that, and we just grabbed any 3-chord song we could play, and we just hit the bars right out of high school.
And I understood that you guys rehearsed at somebody's place up in their attic. Is that correct?
Yeah, that was down in Detroit.
Yeah, down
very small attic too.
Yeah, that must have been crazy.
The whole ride was insane.
What places, what bars were you playing in those days right out of high school? 'Cause, I mean, the drinking age was 21. So.
Yeah, there was a bar called the Freestyle on Telegraph Road. They let us play. I think we made $60 the first night. We just played there all the time, and I really don't. Yeah, I remember that. I don't know how we got away with it, but we did. I mean, we were in there till 6 in the morning.
Really? No shit.
Oh yeah, it was quite the wild times.
One of the songs I remember, I don't know if you guys were doing originals at that time or started doing that, but I remember people saying that you guys did extremely well and introduced a lot of people to it, was Johnny Thunder's Chinese Block.
Yeah, I met Johnny Thunders too, and yeah, we did do that. We were supposed to go on tour with the Ramones.
Really?
Yeah, that all kind of fell apart. Yeah, we did every punk song you could think of. We warmed Destroy All Monsters up, some of the guys from MC5. We played everywhere. Tracks, any bar, Blondies. I grew up in Blondies.
Yeah.
I was there every weekend.
Quite a departure from what you were originally into, the Doors, Stones, and that kind of thing. What all of a sudden got you into the punk scene, so to speak?
Well, really, the voice was, I was always key to focusing on the voice. You know, a guy turned me on to Iggy. He goes, you know, he's from Ann Arbor. And he has a, you know, extremely low voice. And I'm like, oh, wow, this is really cool. You know, he's from, you know, Michigan, and he can do it. I can do it. At that time, I was still playing guitar. And I was very shy about singing because, you know, everybody wanted to be Robert Plant.
Yeah, sing that high octave.
Yeah, I'm a little deeper there.
Yeah, you're quite a bit deeper there. That's such a good part. Anyway, jumping forward a little bit, you then formed, well, I shouldn't say then formed because you may have done something in between. But the next thing I recall was a group that you were in called Mickey Strange and the Kings of Pain.
Yeah, Nobody's Children fell apart. I think about a year or two later, my brother approached me and goes, let's form a band. And I'm like, you can't even play. He goes, well, I got a couple other guys that, you know, they really want to do this. And I just, you know.
Yeah.
That's when I really started taking the voice seriously. And I said, okay, well, let's just get together. Let's give it a whirl. And I couldn't sing. They couldn't play. But the enthusiasm's there.
Right.
And I will tell that to everybody. If you have the enthusiasm, you can go anywhere. I mean, you know, the talent will come.
Right, good practice.
Yeah, oh yeah, got practice. Yeah, we did some outstanding shows. We were supposed to warm up a private VIP party for David Bowie and Nine Inch Nails.
Really?
But it fell through because they just decided to do one show in Detroit and went to Chicago.
So eventually your brother did learn to play. What was he? Did he play guitar?
Yeah, no, bass.
Oh, bass, okay.
Yeah, the bass part.
Right. That's a little bit easier to learn. I know that from experience. Fewer strings to deal with.
Yeah, we were still, you know, really high-powered driving. And in the 90s, that was in 3, we were doing originals, and we were making great money.
Really?
You know, yeah, because, you know, the whole cover.
Right.
You know, you have to play cover songs and
Sure.
all that.
And where were you guys playing in that bars were you doing that with it?
Industry, a lot. The Whitney loved us.
The Whitney. Wow.
Yeah, the Whitney. They downtown really liked us a lot. First gig was at Paychecks just to test it out.
Sure.
It went all right. And then we moved back up to Token, which was the Mosquito Club at that time.
Yeah.
And we just kept moving forward, and it built up pretty good. We actually conquered Detroit pretty well.
Did you guys ever do any recording? Because I know you're in tight with Rick Young, Talent Live, and all that. You've done a lot of work over there. I think you recorded.
Yeah, Mickey Strange and the Kings of Pain on the CD's called Wicked World. We had a video out. Then there was just a CD after that by Gabriel Records called Mickey Strange, which featured Panic in Detroit.
Right.
Perry Phillips from the Rolling Stones and Cheryl and Lewis on backups. Wow. Unbelievable talents.
Yeah.
These people are just, you know,
Yeah.
I was just floored by their vocal abilities. They're just unbelievable.
So what happened to the Kings of Pain as far as that? 'Cause, I know you evolved a little bit more after that, but what happened to that group? You having that much success?
Well, yeah, you're playing in front of 3,000 people one night,
Right.
and then the next night you're playing in front of 5. And
Yeah.
it just, I think it plays with you mentally. I've had this conversation with some of David Bowie's people.
Mm-hmm.
They just, you get up and play. A lot of people can't handle it. And I'm not, and security, I do believe. Being a musician, you're kind of an outlaw. There's
Right.
nothing really secure. You hear a lot of people sing about it, I ain't got no home,
Mm-hmm. Right.
We did real well in Detroit. We started branching off, and people they bailed. They
Lost
just
it.
couldn't handle it anymore.
All the pressure of it, you mean?
Yeah, like I said, the security of it.
As to whether there'd be a future in it. So is that pretty much when you went off on your own, you did the solo thing?
Yeah.
And and I meant to ask you this, and I probably did ask you this maybe years ago. How did you come up with the name Mickey Strange? How did that develop?
I was at a party. One girl goes, you know Mark, and I was standing behind them, and she goes, yeah, he's a real nice guy, but it's kind of strange. They turned around, oh, we're so sorry, oh my God, oh no, you just gave me an idea. And my dad used to call me Marky all the time.
Right.
It's like, well, it's kind of I didn't really like it. So I said, well, what about Mickey? I just got that up in Mickey Mouse. So
Right.
smashed them together. That was the name.
Did you ever ask this person what about you they thought was strange?
No, I was in my Jim Morrison mode, so I didn't care. I had leather pants on and everything. I
You were
didn't
just
care.
too cool to give a shit. I understand.
Yeah, I know. Whatever works for the art, you know.
The other thing I was going to ask you, because I don't remember this too much for Pascal, I don't remember too much for Pascal, for that matter.
Yeah.
Because you had mentioned the Doors, and Jim Morrison, and that's kind of what I remember you being into back in the day. Were you always into David Bowie? Because I know you kind of stretched into that persona too.
Yeah, seventh grade, Panic in Detroit was on the radio all the time.
Right.
This girl came in my class dressed up as Ziggy Stardust. You know, everybody had long hair back then. She had bright orange hair and, it was short, and girls just didn't have short hair back then. And I was like, okay, you can be anything you want. This is great. I just went for it. Yeah, huge fan. I've always been a huge fan of Iggy, Peter Murphy, because I could really relate to their vocal abilities,
Yeah.
their baritoneness.
Well, you definitely have that baritone voice, which lends itself well to the material that you've done over the years.
Well, thanks.
Panic in Detroit, just an incredible version of that song. It still stands out in my memory as one of the most memorable songs I've heard you do and stuff. Not that the other stuff isn't good, because it really is, but obviously because it's a cover, it's something you hang on to, I guess. Now, you've morphed a couple times, obviously Mickey Strange into kind of the Bowie perspective and the look and all that. What are you doing now? What's Mickey up to now? I mean, I saw, when you emailed me, it's something about what's going on with the cat.
Well, this is no secret. My brother passed away.
Oh yeah, I'm really sorry to hear that.
I'd just like to tell everybody to be careful because it's fentanyl. And be safe. He left me his cat. The cat hates me. I mean, he just walk. Well, I hated anybody. He'd just walk in the room and start hissing at me. And I'm like, well, I always loved animals.
Right.
What's the deal? Through all the chaos, I just laying on the couch one day, and the cat came up and sat on my chest and started tapping me on the nose and kissing my lip, and we've been buds forever since. As a matter of fact, she's sitting right next to me. It sparked up a lot of things. I was kind of like snowed in with her at his house, and for about a month, a couple of years ago, we got to know each other, and I just started fiddling around with stuff. I had already written Strange Cat Deep. My brother passed, and I had one verse left, and I sang it, and that was a tribute to him. So all this cat tunes started coming out. People seem to really like them. Amazing. I guess a lot of people like cats out there.
Is it a little deeper than that? I mean, is there something?
Yeah, my mother told me the other day, she goes, I think Catwoman played a big influence on his upbringing. Because Batman, when we were kids, it was nothing but sci-fi universe.
Sure.
You come home, 4:30 movie, Godzilla week, and all this. So, yeah, I think the costumes played a big role on it.
Yeah, because I know you like to dress up. You've never been one to just get out there and, at least not since way back in the old days when everybody did. You've always tried to be a bigger than life persona as far as your stage presence. The black jet black hair, the whole thing. Do you believe that's as important a part, in other words, the presentation as the music?
Yes, I do. Because people are coming to see you. They're paying money. And, look at the tickets now.
Right.
That's just my thing is, I don't think I should come up there with blue jeans and my butt crack hanging out.
Right.
I think people deserve more than that. I like doing it because you get to morph into something else that, it's like Halloween.
Right.
Okay, what am I going to wear tonight?
Kind of like an alter ego, too.
Oh, yeah.
Like
Well,
Alice Cooper and all that. You play
yeah.
different
All those guys are huge influences on me.
Sure.
It's fun.
Mhm.
It's really cool. It's like being an actor.
Oh yeah, and I think like you were saying, people deserve a little bit more. And I think the visual part, playing rock music is very important to give them that little extra. You can go to the bar and see a band anytime, but somebody that's actually going to go out of their way to do something more visual like that, it stands out, is you're going to remember that.
Oh yeah, and it doesn't always go over well either. I've had, a couple things whipped at me, called a couple names. Warner Brothers there, and they had three skinheads flipping me off for the whole night. And Warner Brothers is in the background going, it was a great show. Oh man, of all nights,
As a performer, though, you got to understand, you can't please everybody all the time.
Oh no, and I don't really try to anymore.
Right.
That's a good point you make, because I always tried to do that. And it will wear you down.
Yeah.
Just believe in yourself, believe in what you're doing. Take the criticism for what it's worth.
Right.
But trying to please everybody, forget it.
Yeah,
Just, as soon as I stopped trying to do that, things started moving.
Right. Well, I had interviewed, mentioned Rick Young earlier, who I know you've worked with quite a bit over the years, and he had told me some pretty funny stories about some of the exploits with you and Bruce.
Had quite a few of them. Well, they were kind enough to, let me work out there so I could record. It was as simple as that, and he'd have me doing things that I've never done in my entire life, like coating roofs with Snow White, and I'm falling off of them, and we're cussing at each other, and oh yeah, he's a character, man. But he is very smart, and he always told me, if it's not fun, don't do it. To this day, I really, if it's not, don't do it. I mean, it's meant to be fun. That's the whole purpose of talking about live and things. I mean, you can record and have fun, and it's great.
He had mentioned, Rick had mentioned a story involved him chasing me out the parking lot or something. You were getting in the car, peeling out, and you're going, Rick, you need to get him on his leash or some kind of shit like that.
Oh, well, yeah. Which time?
Yeah, which time?
I remember one time I wrote this great song. Got great lyrics. Play it for him. And go, what do you think? He goes, oh, it sounds like shit. And I'm like, what? I'm just going home swearing, and come back an hour later, and I go, what do you think of that? He goes, now you're talking. I mean, he was great about that stuff. I miss him terribly. He'd love what's going on in the world these days.
Yeah, he used to really tell it like it is. I know that.
And when we first went out there, I was like, oh, we're here to, meet Rick, and we're going to record. This is with Miller's Children.
Right.
I'm like, and he's standing there, and I go, who's the old guy? He goes, well, come on back, I'll show you around the studio. I'm like, who is this guy? I go, he's older than my dad, and he's into rock and roll, I mean, I couldn't grasp it mentally. Right. And I asked Rick, I go, who is that guy? He goes, I don't know. He didn't tell me it was his dad for about, I think, 3 months, and his mom. I'm like, oh, who are these people? I'm a punk rocker. I've got makeup on. I'm ready to, party in the studio. Right. Let's get going. And it's all like, oh no, you're not going to be doing that here. You're going to record, and we're going to make you sound good as much as we can.
That is so funny though, because I know Rick was quite the prankster and that kind of stuff. As far as I don't know who that guy is. Just wandered in.
He goes, some senile guy walking around here. I'm like, man, you really need to check that out, And he goes, no, Mark, that's my dad. And I'm like, you're kidding me. I used to go see Teaser.
Right.
I don't know how I got into these clubs. I just managed to get into them. I remember, focusing on Rick a lot. And this guy can play the hell out of it.
Oh, yeah.
And then I was at Blondie's, and the doorman, his name was Zeb, and he said, Mark, you really need to go out to Talent Live and talk to those guys, because, he saw the enthusiasm. I mean, it was overwhelming how, straightforward and charging, right. No stopping,
Right.
We accomplished a lot. We really did. I mean, we were warming up Seduce and all those guys at the Ritz all the time. I was listening to Mark on the show there. He had mentioned the Dolls, and those guys were always nice to us. Every musician I've ever met, famous or non-famous, it's always been nice. You
That's
know?
good to know.
I've met quite a few. Johnny Thunders, David Johansen, Mike Garson, the pianist for David Bowie. That guy blew my mind. He was down at the DIA doing all piano music, no vocals of all Bowie songs.
Wow, that'd be really cool.
And you know, I waited an hour, and he sat down and talked. I'm like, this is unbelievable. You know, these guys are playing the records when I'm a teenager.
Right.
So yeah, everyone's been real nice. Even Merrill Osmond was really nice to me. He just kept staring at me.
So you met him when he was in there doing that thing with Rick?
Yeah, he goes, I want you to write some lyrics to this. And he's just staring at me. He goes, you know who you remind me of? I'm like, oh no. Yeah, he goes, Elvis. He goes, you don't look like him. He goes, you act like him. He goes, I lived with him for 6 months. And I'm like, oh really? And he's like, he told me a lot of cool stories. The Osmonds are really nice people, and not all the bubble gum you think they are.
Right. Well, that was way back in the day.
Yeah, he was totally into rock and roll, totally into Led Zeppelin. Like that guy. I'm like, wow.
Yeah, because Rick had told me that he wanted to do some rock and roll, but people perceived him as.
And that guy could sing, man.
Oh yeah, there's no doubt about that. Now, how was it for you recording at Talent Live? Had you been in any other studios before that? In any way, from approach?
I think we went to one guy's basement. No, we went to two. John Anton?
The guy that owns the Token?
Hey, well, he used to hang out at the Token. He's bass player for Romeo Rock, I think, or guitar player, one of the two.
Oh, John Avedisian.
Oh, I'm sorry, yeah. My bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, his parents built him a recording studio in the basement.
Right, I'd been there.
We, this is, I think, even before Talent Live started. And there was another one. We only did like 1 or 2 songs, but we went out to Rick and we were just, sold. He taught us how to record, Taught us how to play, sing. He taught me how to sing.
I know he's always on the cutting edge of new technology and learning it and bringing people into it and all that, which always fascinated me.
Yeah, he really got me when computers and music. I'm not afraid of technology at all. I do believe that you should learn how to play an instrument.
Right.
And so you really study it. I mean, if that's what you want to do.
Right.
So he brought me out there and goes, we can do this just me and you. And I'm like, oh. So we started doing that. I just fell into the computer thing, the teaching side, actually. I just gravitated towards computers, and I had a whole other teaching career with that. I was a teacher and playing at night. It clashed quite a bit. Going into work with makeup on, they go like, "You get makeup on?" I go, "No, you're imagining things. Go sit down."
Go sit down. So, what are you up to lately? Are you still recording, performing? Got any big plans?
I got big plans. I haven't played out in a long time. I'm itching really bad. I'm going back in the studio within the next month here. Everything's okay. And then I'm releasing an EP, and I'm going to start heavy duty on videos.
Are you going to be doing those at Rick's place?
Yeah, and some, other locations. I've seen some other huge stages I'd like to get on. And just, for the atmosphere.
So you're going to put a new band together, or?
Yeah, I definitely want to. We'll see how it goes. You know how bands are.
Sure, yeah.
This is what I've learned. Band of 6 months together, at least record, an album together, because everybody's got their musical opinion, and you've got to let them do that.
Right.
And I learned that from Bowie. He'd come out with a rinky-dink sounding copy of a song he wants to do, and give it to these musicians, and he'd walk away and go, "Have at it. Let's see what you come up." And I thought that was really daring.
Right.
A lot of people don't like to, let control go.
Right. But if you're going to be in a band scenario, you need to kind of have that give and take, I think. Let people put in their 2 cents as to what it is. And if you're on the same page with them and you have the same general taste in music and stuff, it can work out. You just got to find the right people.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. I mean, a lot of magical things can happen.
Right.
I mean, that's what happened with Mickey Strange and the Kings of Pain. We all clicked for what we could do. We came out with some pretty cool stuff. It was very I was reading Dante's Inferno when we started, and so it was this that played a big role in the look of everything. That really gothy, old, ancient. My brother loved old black and white movies, horror movies, just like I do, and we wanted that. My brother and I are the ones, and Rick edited the video out there that's online. I think it was '96. I think that video was done and came out pretty good.
So you're going to be going into Talent Live. Do you have music written yourself, or you're going to co-write some stuff with Rick, or how's that going to go?
No, I have tons written. I have about enough for 30 CDs.
Really?
Yeah, I'm ready to go.
So I know you were doing, most of the lead vocals over the years. Have you kept up on playing guitar, or are you playing like synthesizers or both?
Guitar, yes. I practice all the time. I probably very rarely play it on stage. I'm more of a actor approach.
The front man. You want to be the front man?
Kind of the Mick Jagger, although he plays guitar now, but he never used to.
No, he's really known for it.
Piano, I'm okay. Bass, fine. Drums, horrible. Guitar, it's never ending.
Right.
It's really cool because you can sit around, watch TV, and practice.
Sure.
Vocally, you got to go in some other room and start screaming at runtime.
So musically, these songs that you have, you say you have all these songs written, are they pretty much in the same vein as what you've been doing in the past? The kind of like industrial Bowie type stuff.
Yes.
They still in that vein. You haven't gone off and got into rap music. I know Rick's really big into that, so I thought maybe he might have been trying to push you in that direction.
I wrote one, and they're all looking at me, and they're going, "That's pretty darn good."
Well, Rick can get a beat for anything,
Oh, yeah. I'm like, don't expect me to do it.
Mickey Strange, the rapping pain,
Yeah. Yeah, the whole...
Well, I'm just saying because rap music or hip hop, as Rick likes, it has evolved so much, and there was so much of rock and roll that was in it, crossed it and all that. Yet I don't remember anybody ever having done, I don't mean hardcore rap, tongue-in-cheek stuff that would ever try and use kind of like a Bowie industrial type mix to a rap thing that wasn't pure rap. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know where it's going. I don't know where it can possibly go. What I'm seeing is rock and roll coming back.
Right.
And I think everybody's angry.
Angry about what? Just what's going on in the world?
The political environment and all that,
sure.
Election in general. But it seems like rock's really coming back in strong.
Well,
at least
I hope so.
around in Detroit. I think, playing instruments for kids is good.
Right.
It seems like a lot of kids are picking up instruments, guitar, like we did.
Right.
It seems like there was a whole vast amount of kids all at once wanting to learn how to play guitar, and I do believe that's what happened with, the Stones, Led Zeppelin, Jeff Beck, all those guys, Clapton, all at once. There's this big surge of wanting to play this,
Yeah, for sure.
And I see the surge coming back, which is cool.
Yeah.
I'm adding more guitar lately, so it's it's a little edgier.
Right, but it's still going to have that kind of Mickey industrial side to it that you're doing over the years.
Yeah, most definitely.
I didn't know if you decided to once again morph into something a little bit different, old school.
I can go right down in Frank Sinatra mode if I want to.
Well, when you're being told by Merle Osmond that you remind him of Elvis Presley, that's quite a compliment in my book.
I thought so too. I was just like, wow, obviously you know him.
Yeah. I always thought that's a good reference for you. I would have thought more of a James Dean kind of thing.
Well, that was my dad.
That was your dad.
My dad is the James Dean type of guy. The hair and everything, man.
To this day?
Oh no, he's passed out.
But he was big into that. So
he looked like that.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, the whole I got the cigarette, rolled up sleeves, and I mean to the T,
He was very supportive of you being into music, rock music, growing up.
Well, yes and no. Any parent kind of concerned.
Right.
I was going out the door for the first gig, and I had him, makeup on, earrings. He just looked at me and goes, "I hope you're making a lot of money tonight." Because he knew, okay, this guy's going for it. No, he never discouraged. Actually, he loved the name, Mickey Strange.
Did
He
he?
really liked that name.
Yeah, well, that is a cool name. It's very unique, and I think it fits you.
Well, thanks.
At
Yeah, a
least
lot of
over
people
the
think
years.
I'm strange. I mean, you look at some of the pictures on Facebook, where's this guy coming from?
Well, that's what I was going to say. It fits the persona, and I think that's very important. If you're going to try and create a persona, you need to have a cool name to go with it, something that's
Yeah.
memorable.
Well, again, there's the Bowie and Alice Cooper and Iggy and all these guys. They're huge influences
Right.
on me growing up. Nothing against like Yes and bands like that.
Right.
Nothing against them. It's just I'm like, no, I'm a little more on the wild side.
Yeah.
Guys,
Yeah, I get you. Well, Mark, I'm gonna let you go. I really appreciate you talking to me, man. I'm glad we were finally able to get this together and all that. And I look forward to whatever you do in the future. Stay in touch when you get some recordings. I'd like to check them out. Give Rick my best and all that. And just don't give it up, man. Keep it going, man. Because
Oh no, I'll never give it up.
yeah, because you're only as old as you feel.
Oh yeah, it's in my DNA.
Right.
Well, thanks very much for having me.
Oh man, no problem, man. I was glad we were able to get together and do this. Well, you have a good night, man, and really take care.
You take care of yourself too. Thanks for
All
having me.
right, buddy. Take care.
All right, bye-bye.
Okay, this is Jimmy Jive, and that was Mickey Strange, originally with Aftermath, Nobody's Children, Mickey Strange and the Kings of Pain, and most recently over the years, just straight Mickey Strange. And if you do look him up, he's right. You'll think it's quite strange, but in a delightful way. So as I like to say,
I've seen all things unseen.
keep rocking.
I know who you are before you lay your head to sleep. Awiuhonya Nisnas Nifoni Sra Manas Nifawanya